This is for Lorena. This is the DDR story, Dance Dance Revolution. So I sent Lorena a clip of me doing DDR in the first apartment that we had when we first moved here. But let's go back to how this even started, because she mentioned a disco ball. Brian was still living with us. I want to say he was probably about 16 years old at this time. He had a PlayStation 2. I had my own PlayStation 2 at the same time. You're probably laughing, oh, that's what the system was at that particular moment in time. One year for Christmas, he asked for Dance Dance Revolution and a dance pad. I was like, what? Why? That's for like the gay kids. What are you talking about? It's stupid. That's just because they had it in the arcade. Now it's at the home. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So he gets this thing for Christmas. Well, I work in the middle of the night. At this time, I'm coming home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I come home, it's like 2 a.m. He's got all his school friends in there, which I didn't care. I loved, when people were awake when I'm coming home. When our kids were awake when I was coming home, I said, I don't care. I don't care what time you go to bed. We never gave them a curfew. We never said you have to be in bed by this time. You have to be doing this. I told my kids, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I don't care. You have freedom. As soon as you break some of them rules and whatever, you lose your freedom. Right now you have all the freedom, and I will take freedom away from you. So I would come home sometimes, Andrew and Matthew, they're in high school, they're awake, in the middle of the night. I'm like, they're getting like 2 hours sleep, and then they got to go catch the bus and go to school. I didn't care. They're honor roll students. They're involved in all kinds of activities in school. Their grades are up. They're smart. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. As long as you're doing that, I don't care. So anyway, Brian and his friends are in there at like 2 in the morning. And I'm watching. I'm like, they're all having this blast. They are having a good time. These are like all stoner kids, And I'm looking at them like, this is like a weird geek game to play. Why? Why are you guys doing this? But they're having a good time. So I told Brian at that time, without his friends hearing me, I said, look, you guys are all having a good old time in here. But I said, when your friends aren't around sometime, I want to just see what this is like. Let me try it. Why are you guys having so much fun? So one time I came home, it's like 2 in the morning. He's like, hey, you want to try it? I'm like, yeah, let me try this. What the heck? Show me how to play this game. So he shows me how to play it. I'm like, dang. This is fun. And it's like exercise. We're actually jumping up and down on the pad. They're kind of doing cheat ways like I can't demonstrate it with my feet because the camera's up here. But they would just stand in one place and they'd be like cheating somehow, like with their feet. It was really funny. I was actually like hopping up and down in the video that I showed Lorena and kind of like trying to do it more exercise wise. So next thing you know, I buy my own DDR and my own pad. The next thing you know, we had 2 pads. So now I'm doing it with the kids. I'm on one pad, they're on the other side of the screen and stuff. We're doing it together. And then we also had a DJ light. I forgot what it was called. It's not a moonflower. It was something like a moonflower. So we had that going. And then we also got the fog machine. I ain't talking about like the one you get at like Halloween. I'm talking about like a DJ fog machine. Something that could fill an auditorium. So we got it from Greg. We put that up. And then there was something else that we had to go with it. I wanted a disco ball, but we never ended up getting the disco ball. So we would just leave the fog machine, the smoke machine. If you leave it on leak and you don't push the button, it heats up and it leaks. So it goes psh, every little bit. It has to leak out and relieve itself. So just by doing that, it gets just enough smoke in the air to create the beams with the light. And it's really funny. If you push the button, you're going to get to the point where you can't see anything in the room. That's how much it fills the room. So we're in there now. we're cranking this up. We had the big speakers and stuff. We're all doing DDR in the living room with the smoke machine and the lights running. And we were doing this like all the time. We did this for a long time. Even after we moved into this house, we were still doing it. That was like years we were playing this game for. We were having a blast. And then one time our buddy Tim came over, and I knew he was coming, so I made sure everything was set up, and I waited for him to pull up. This is at the still at the first apartment. The second apartment? Might be the second apartment. And so when I saw him coming, I hit the button on the smoke machine and I didn't let go on purpose. I filled the living room with smoke so bad, and I had already warned the neighbors. I said, look, you're gonna see smoke pouring out. It's not on fire, I'm just letting them know. And it's steam is technically what that is. It's a fluid and it's technically steam. So like the fire alarm won't ring. Tim knocks on the door. The place, I'm filling this place full of smoke, and I open the door and just, the smoke just comes pouring out the door, and I hear him. He's standing like a couple feet in front of me. I'm opening the door. He's standing right here. He can't even see me in the house. He goes, John, are you in there? He can't even, I'm standing right in front of him. He can't see me. That's how much smoke there was. I start laughing. You know, we left the door open and let the smoke kind of clear out. He's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm laughing so hard. It was so funny. But then he started doing the DDR with us. We started having everybody that come over, come on, man, let's do some DDR. We had everybody doing it, and we were having such a good time. But it just reminded me to tell that story because, Lorena, you mentioned the disco ball and how I can come over and dance. I don't dance. I'll play that game, though. But it was so funny, that whole thing, how that happened, how I'm looking at Brian and his friends as like a bunch of weirdo freaks playing this game. All of a sudden, now I'm blowing it out of proportion big time. But anyway, I thought I'd tell that story. I thought it was really funny.